Hi, how do I sound? Oh, I shit. Yeah, anyways, I'm just gonna finish up this shitty ass drawing. It's like 1 a.m. and I'm doing this on a school night. What? I have no idea why it's formatted like this. Joined. Uh, okay, and they just left. Yeah, probably for the better. Oh, someone just subscribed to my channel apparently. My sub count just went up from 213 to 214. Thank you, whoever you are. I appreciate you, man. Um. Anyways, I don't know what else to say. My throat kind of fucking hurts. Yeah. Been working on some other projects lately besides this one. This one's just like a warm-up sketch, I guess. Just a little goober. Not much else to say. Fuck, I should have done this on the weekend or something. More people would have joined. Anyways,
Drop some brand new merch. We got hoodies, we got shirts, and more. So go head over,
I'm just
click the
gonna put
first
on
link in the
some
description, and check
background
out the new
noise.
store. And for Cyber Monday, everything is 15% off for the rest of today, the day this video drops. Thank you guys, and let's get into the video. At the lunch table when I was in high school, it seemed like there would always be something going on that prevented me from just peacefully consuming my meal. And not to say that it was always a bad thing, because sometimes it could be entertaining. Like maybe two people are just roasting the out of each other or something.
Boom, bam, bop, bada bop, boom, pow.
And that would be entertaining, right? But other times, it crossed the line, and the lunch table shenanigans got out of hand. Alright, never quite that bad. But the high school I went to had this field, right? And all the way at the back of the field, they had a few small picnic tables. And one of those picnic tables was where we would always eat lunch at. And there would be tables like inside the cafeteria with lots of space and not in 100-degree weather. But nah, we decided the move was to try and cram like 10 people around one small picnic table. One leg is like 2 pounds away from giving out. The two people who walked all the way out there last would always have to stand. Birds are like dropping bombs on people from the trees above. For some reason, it always seemed to hit the same person. But hey, that's where we chose to sit at. Probably because the thing about this location is it was at the complete edge of the school, so it was isolated. But because it was so far away from the actual school, nobody was really out there to monitor anything. So it seemed like every other day, somebody was just wilding out for no reason at all. And to one side of the table was this fence, an alley, and a neighborhood, and to the other side was this field with a soccer goal almost directly behind our table. So you can probably already guess how this is gonna go if people are trying to kick goals all around the same table we're trying to eat at. Give it like 10 minutes into the start of lunch and soccer balls would be flying all over the place. Sometimes they just roll over, sometimes they'd be flying through the air. And the main reason this got to be so annoying was because someone would get like clocked in the head, and instead of, apologizing, they'd just be laughing, and then the same exact thing would just happen again the next day. So it got pretty aggravating, and it got to the point where they'd run up to
Yeah,
get
I'm
their
just gonna
ball back,
close
but
Discord
nobody was
because
having that. They weren't getting their ball back. Instead, it would get
I don't want it to like lag my drawing program. Also, I have my phone by me. I can just use Discord if I wanted to on there. Anyways, fuck. I have no idea why, but my computer keeps tweaking.
drop kick to like the
Okay,
opposite end of the
finally,
field
damn.
and just roll all the way down. I mean, come on, you can't be nailing people in the head and just expect the ball to be handed back to you. But my first year, freshman year, right? I already took a massive L like less than a month in with this whole lunch table and soccer goal situation. Now the goal wasn't directly in the center of the table, it was a little offset to one side, so when they kicked it at an angle and missed, it would come flying over to us. So like 4 weeks into my freshman year, the ball comes flying over, and this one guy, he's all pissed off. He picks up the ball and he's all like, you know what? Screw them for always kicking the ball over here. And this man looks like he's setting up for the dropkick of the century, looking like he's ready to dropkick the ball into oblivion. And I'm standing pretty much right next to him at this point, but I see this dude setting up for the dropkick, and by the time it registered in my mind what was about to happen, it was already too late to move out of the way.
It was at this moment that he knew.
And it would have been fine if he had a straight kick, but he kind of hit the ball off the side of his foot, and it hit me in the worst possible area. Not the arm, not the leg, well, really the second worst possible area, but it flies straight into my face, and the impact, like, oh my goodness, I think I might have been taken to another dimension for a few seconds. I can't believe I even stayed conscious, because that thing hit me full force point blank. And the craziest part was, when I looked in the mirror, my face looked fine, no bruises or marks or anything, and I still wonder how that was even possible. I mean, I wasn't complaining, but it definitely still shook me up. And getting nailed in the head with a soccer ball wasn't exclusive to just me. This happened to many people, where we'd just be chilling, eating lunch, and they'd miss a goal because they were garbage, and it'd fly over and either bop somebody, or like tear through somebody's sandwich and just completely destroy it. And that was another common one, food just getting absolutely obliterated. I had a lot of near misses too. I can't tell you how many times the ball just barely skimmed right over my head. Every day, just by choosing to eat in that spot, it was taking a risk. And you're probably saying, Saga, are you dumb? Like, why wouldn't you guys just simply move somewhere else? You're kind of idiots for not moving. And what I had to say to that is, honestly, you're 100% right. Because this was basically a daily occurrence. It was like a war between the people at the table and the people playing soccer, and every day was a new battle. It was a territorial issue at this point. So since drop kicking the ball to the opposite end of the field was just standard procedure at this point, one day the ball rolls over and this kid goes to drop kick it, but he was holding in his hand one of those like giant 1 gallon water jugs, you know, the ones made out of like really tough plastic. I don't know why he didn't just set it down first and then drop kick the ball, because now he's trying to drop kick a ball while holding a water jug at the same time, and I guess his hand-eye coordination got messed up a little bit, because somewhere in the process of trying to kick the ball, he let go of the water jug too, and made full force solid contact with it. The ball got like shanked off to one side, so instead of directly hitting the ball, he just directly slammed his foot into the hard plastic water jug. And the
Nice.
cracking sound it made when his foot made contact with the jug was so loud, this man let out a scream and that thing took him down. He immediately just fell straight backwards while still yelling. He's like clutching his foot on the ground. It looked and sounded extremely painful. He was lucky not to break any of his toes. But sometimes, drop kicking the ball away just wasn't enough to get even when certain lines were crossed. And on one particular
finally I
day,
fixed
this
it.
one guy that ate with us is
Anyways.
standing up next to the table, holding his lunch tray, just trying to enjoy his meal, right? When I see out of my peripheral vision, the ball's flying over to us, just straight zooming through the air, and I see the path that it's taking, and I'm just thinking like, oh man, here we go again. And it doesn't hit him, but it does hit his lunch tray. And the lunch trays were already weak in the first place, made out of like the cheapest styrofoam ever. Like they could already barely support holding the food it was supposed to. So when the soccer ball made contact, the whole thing just instantly crumbled, just gave up. Milk is flying everywhere, there's pizza on the ground, the chips are now just crumbs. Like this man's lunch was gone. And that was the tipping point for him. He walks over to the ball and
I have no idea what's fucking going on with my computer. Keeps. It's not letting me draw anything for some reason. Hold on, let me try something. Just save it and close it, and hopefully it might fix the problem. I don't fucking know. What? I don't know if you can hear like the unplugging and plugging thing, but fuck this shit, dude. Fuck, I don't know what the fuck happened. Oh, fuck. Fuck me, dude. I'm such a dumbass. Anyways, I think the problem was that I didn't have a color on the pen I was using, which is weird because all I did was just color pick the green color, then finally the issue was fixed. So, anyways, I'm a dumbass. I have no idea. I thought this problem was fixed. What? It not letting me erase anything. Hey, for some reason, it's just letting me draw but not erase. I have no idea what the issue is, but oh, I'm a fucking dumbass again. So, the problem was that I was on the group layer, so that's why it wasn't letting me erase. Um, I was supposed to be on a specific layer, so now it works. So, yeah. No, sometimes, you have to realize that you're the dumbass, not the other issue. Fuck. You see, the moral of the story is that you have to realize that you're the dumbass. Sometimes it's not the other thing's fault, you know. Um. Anyways, now that's solved. Um. Oh, here we go. Here we go. See, this is actually pretty good. I love the fucking advanced tool options. They're a lifesaver. I love this full extent feature. I genuinely had no idea that it existed until now. As I said, this tool option feature is a fucking lifesaver. Damn, if you look really closely, then you can see that there's like these white dots. Anyways, the best course of action would to be like to just paint it fully to prevent any like white spots and shit, you know. Oh shit. I have no idea what this. Oh, I'm a dumbass. I drawn the wrong layer too much. It looks kind of weird when it's half drawn, but you know, just trust the process.
Instead of just drop kicking it like usual, he points to the kid that came for the ball and he's like, you know what? You lost your privileges. And he turns around, and you remember how I said there was a neighborhood on the other side of the fence? He launches the ball not only over the first fence, but also clears the alley and the second wall and sends it flying somewhere into the group of houses. I don't even know where it ended up. And then they're all like, yo, why would you do that to our ball, man? And I'm thinking like, bro, you just destroyed Mans' lunch. Like, what did you expect to happen? I couldn't help from laughing when he told them that they lost their privileges, because he just kind of inserted himself into the position of authority that decides whether they're allowed to have a soccer ball or not. I don't think they ever even got their ball back. Somebody in one of those houses probably got a free soccer ball though. Good times eating at that spot. One thing I for sure won't miss though is having to worry about getting blindsided by a soccer ball every time I sat down to eat. Thank you guys so much for watching the animation. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Remember to go cop yourself some merch. It really helps to support the channel. I'll put the link in the description. It's going to be the first link, and I will see you guys in the next one.
Want to upgrade but still paying off your locked phone? Break free from 3-year device contracts. Switch to T-Mobile and we'll pay off your phone and upgrade you to a new Samsung Galaxy S24 on us.
Freaknik was the greatest black gathering in America.
People were coming by the masses.
Things that I saw, insane.
Trust me, your mom and daddy got that.
I don't think there was a single day that I walked in the locker room before gym class and it didn't sound like the world was ending. Everybody knows that probably one of the most chaotic places you could go in a high school is the locker room. If you're a girl, I don't know what your locker room atmospheres would be like, but in the boys, there's not really much that's off limits. You know, you would think you're getting ready to go to PE, you walk in the locker room, everybody is quietly changing into their gym clothes and minding their own business.
Psych!
But actually, see, there's just something about the locker room atmosphere, combined with the fact there's like 45 kids cramped into a small space. It's just a breeding ground for chaos. Whatever coach is supposed to be supervising, if he's even there in the first place, is probably not even really invested in monitoring the shenanigans that he knows are just gonna occur regardless. If you had a class that was close to the locker room, you could hurry up and get over there before the chaos started. You know, you walk in, you're the first one in there, it doesn't even feel natural. But that doesn't last for too long, because then the rest of the class gets in there. People are getting 5-starred, whipped with shirts, people are slamming their hands against the lockers, really for no other reason than it makes loud noises. But the one thing that was always gonna be there, no matter how early you got there, was the axe smell. You could be the first one there in the morning, and the smell from the previous days would not have gone away overnight. I'm pretty sure axe smell was just like a permanent state the locker room was always in. Some days it would get pretty bad too. You could like walk in for 5 seconds, walk out, and you would still be smelling like axe for the rest of the day. And it's not even that the majority of people used it, it's that the few people that did sprayed like half a can every time they used it, and they'd ruin it for the rest of the school. It didn't even matter what we did that day. We could play like basketball, but just the day they make you stand there and practice dribbling the entire time, and at the end, some axe user would still be like, hold up, gotta stay smelling fresh. One time, I even saw some kid putting on axe before class started. I'm like, wait, what you putting on axe before we even start for? He goes, well, what happened was, it's been like 9 weeks since school started, and I keep forgetting to wash my clothes, so I just spray axe on them now to cover the smell. And the worst part was, I started to notice multiple people doing this. There was more than one offender. One day, it was like 4 weeks into the year, the teacher asked who had washed their clothes yet. Less than half the class raised their hand. So now, you got everyone spraying on too much axe after class and before class to the same pair of nasty, sweaty clothes every day. The way the locker room was set up, there was rows of lockers in between the 2 walls with a gap between the ceiling, which just meant it was a perfect situation for people to throw things through the gap in between rows. Whenever someone had something they didn't want, they would just kind of toss it over to another row and make it their problem. All of a sudden, you got multiple rows engaging in full-out warfare. I mean, the gap was not very big, so stuff would usually end up hitting the ceiling before making it through and then ricochet in some random direction. This one kid, I still don't know why, decided to launch a full basketball from one end to the other. Of course, it hit the ceiling before it made it through, bounces off, and nails some kid right in the head. He was kinda a big guy, and it was a hard throw. It almost knocked him over. He turns around and starts yelling, "Who did that? Who threw that ball?" Next, it was like a movie. Everyone separated themselves to the opposite side of the room, and I had never seen this man move so fast before. He like teleported over there. And at this point, I thought it's over, he's getting whooped. But then the bell rang, and I guess he decided that today's his lucky day, and he just let the whole thing go. This other time, some kid threw a half-open bag of Cheez-Its that hit the ceiling, burst open on impact, and Cheez-Its just flew in every direction. It's basically raining Cheez-Its. Everybody was already running around anyways, so it was like 20 seconds before they were all crushed. There's like a layer of Cheez-It crumbs on the floor now. But I bet the next class that came in probably didn't even think twice about it when they saw it. Random stuff on the floor wasn't really an uncommon thing. For some reason, it was kinda normal for people to just start snacking in there, including me sometimes. At the time, we probably didn't realize that our food was being infused with axe particles as we ate it. But when people were done with their food, instead of throwing it in a trash can, which for a while there wasn't even one in there, they just kinda leave it on the floor. You could always expect to find some type of empty chip bag or half-eaten granola bar just chilling on the ground. There was this one day, some kid took an axe can and sprayed it into a cup, and they flung that across the room. I wasn't even really angry we were being showered in axe. I was just worried that now other people were gonna start getting ideas.
Anyways, I decided to like shorten his sideburns a bit because I don't know, they were a little too long and gotta keep them in regs and shit, whatever. Because military regulations, I think they have like some requirements on how long you have to keep your hair or whatever. No way, why am I even saying I think they do? Hello, Emily. It's good to see you again. It's been a while since I last streamed, so to be honest, I kind of thought about you while I didn't stream. I was wondering if you would join or not, honestly. Hey, it's nice to have you here. I haven't seen your channel in a long time. Just here to see how it's going. Yeah, I appreciate it. It's been a while since I did a drawing stream, so hey, school's ending in like 2 days for me, so wanna have some fun, I guess. I guess. My voice keeps cracking up. It's annoying. I hope others will join, but I gotta go. Bye. See you later, Emily. Hmm.
and axe showers were gonna become a frequent thing, but luckily it didn't. So there was this one kid in my class that sweat so much, I've never seen anyone sweat this much in my life ever. Every day at the end of class, his shirt would be soaked, and it didn't take long either. We would start class, do like 2 push-ups. I look away for 3 seconds, look back, his shirt is already half soaked. But I mean, come on, just use this guy's logic. Let it dry overnight and then spray it with Axe the next day before class, and you don't even need to wash it. Sometimes we would get back into the locker room and he would wring out his shirt like it was a full washcloth. You know, it was just part of the locker room experience that shirt whipping is gonna occur. And if you whip someone with your shirt, it's like an unspoken rule. You better expect to get whipped back. Trust me, nobody was even taking a chance with shirt whipping this guy. But I think the craziest thing that happened all of high school in the locker room, one day I was talking to someone and they were standing right next to an open stall door, and I was telling him about something that had happened in my previous class that day. And I don't think he was too interested in my story, because in the middle of it, he interrupts me and starts yelling. He goes, "This story is so boring." And for extra emphasis, he grabs the open door and slammed it shut. But when he slammed it shut so hard that it hit the frame, and he actually just took the entire door off the hinges. I don't really know how that even happened. The physics of that don't even add up. But it doesn't change the fact that there's a stall door just lying on the ground. And it made a pretty massive boom when he slammed it. So the coach that was supervising hears it, walks around the corner, and given the fact that someone just took off a stall door, he didn't even really seem that concerned. He's like, "What's going on over here?" I'm thinking like, how's he gonna get out of this? And then he tries to make up this story on the spot. Something along the lines of, "Well, what happened was I was trying to lock the door from the inside, but it wasn't locking, so I tried to lock the door extra hard, and the door just fell off."
What?
Okay, this was obviously the most made up excuse ever. But the coach just kind of looked at him for a second, looked back at the broken door, then looked at me. I was like, okay, and walked away. I could not believe this guy just got himself out of that situation. They also had a lost and found in the locker room, which comprised mainly of huge amounts of sweaty and axe-ridden clothes that have all been piled up on each other for who knows how long, so they're all extra musty. One day I forgot my clothes to change into, and the teacher was saying I have to have gym clothes or she's marking me a 0% for that day. And she was telling me to go get some clothes from the lost and found and wear those. I was like, nah, mark me absent at that point. I'm not trying to have to take like 10 showers when I get home to get rid of that smell. Between sports and different gym classes I took, I was in the locker room basically every single day I was at high school. All of these stories make it seem like it's a wild zoo every single day, and honestly it kinda was, but looking back on it, it was all a fun experience, and really the only actually annoying part about it was these things, which sometimes it would seem like under no circumstances would they open on the first try, but other than those, it was all good fun. That's all for this animation. First off, I want to thank you guys so much for 1,000 subscribers. Thank you to every single
Cannot get over how funny this man is.
Treating schizophrenia without a daily pill may seem impossible. But what if there was a path to treatment just twice a year? It's time for Invega Hafyera, the only long-acting injection that helps continuously control schizophrenia symptoms for up to 6 months with one dose. Before starting, you must be adequately treated with a similar shorter-term injection for at least 4 months. Invega Hafyera is not for everyone. Elderly dementia patients have an increased risk of death or stroke. Call your doctor if you have uncontrollable muscle movements, as these can become permanent, or if you have a high fever.
This story takes place after I had already been at high school for a couple of years, and at this point we had stopped going on field trips for a minute now because, we were in high school, field trips weren't really a thing anymore. But one day the teacher hands out this paper to us from the principal explaining that at the end of the year, if we were all good, nobody tried to sell any drugs, the fights were at least limited, then we were all gonna go on a field trip. Not just my class, not just my grade, the entire school. That's like 700 people on one field trip. What could go wrong there? So the end of the year comes, we end up having this field trip, which was at the science museum. The morning this is supposed to happen, I get to school, I had never seen so many buses in my life. I couldn't even see where the line ended. And at this point, it was put in perspective just how many kids were going on this thing. I'm thinking in my head, of course I'm down to skip a day of school for this, but how do they think this is a good idea? To transport hundreds of rowdy high school teenagers to a museum 45 minutes away and expect none of them to act a fool once they get out in public. I was like, somebody's gotta be paying them off to do this or something. But they ended up getting hella chaperones to sign up. Substitute teachers you thought you lost freshman year were making a reappearance just to make sure everyone behaves, right? So we drive for a while, finally get to the museum, and this was supposed to be a full day thing, so they told everyone to bring a few dollars to eat at this restaurant that was connected to the museum. Except it was probably a little more than a few dollars, because those types of restaurants inside of museums are always trying to scam you for some nasty fake hot dog they probably didn't even heat up all the way. It's still like half frozen. So we get to the museum in the morning, and after a couple of hours, one of my friends, he brings up a good point. He said we should go eat right now before all other 500 people go try and get their lunch.
You smart. You very smart.
We were not trying to wait in like a 300 person line just to get some half thought out hamburger they probably made out of rat meat anyways. We get to this restaurant they told us about, and I knew it wasn't gonna be no 5-star fine dining experience, but this thing barely qualified as a cafe. I think there were enough seats in there for maybe 3 small families. An entire high school? Forget about it. The problem was, the museum did not communicate with the cafe that they were gonna have about 700 more people than usual to provide food to for that day. But we did not know that at this point. So we order our food, and the few people that were in there already filled up all the tables. So we start eating against the wall outside the restaurant. And then 11 o'clock rolls around, and I just started to see crowds of literally hundreds of people moving towards the cafe. This look of just straight terror came across like the 3 workers' faces that were in there. They probably all wanted to quit and run away. It took like 2 minutes before things just developed into straight chaos. Rest in peace to any regular people that were in there that day, trying to actually learn something that were eating lunch. But at least they could leave and eat somewhere else. We were told that we had to eat at the museum and couldn't leave for any reason. And the chaperones made sure of that. They're like securing a perimeter, making sure nobody gets out, because they're fully aware of the dickery that's currently going down. At this point, I try to move back inside through the crowds to see if my second order is ready that I ordered before all of this went down. And keep in mind, only about 100 people have gotten food so far. The line is still stretched out the cafe doors for sure, and probably out the museum doors too. I hear some kid at the counter trying to order his lunch. I'll take the corn dog. We're out. Oh, okay, I'll have a hamburger then. We're out. A hot dog? We're out. A salad? We're out. We had drained them of their entire stock of food except for french fries, which doesn't even really count as a meal. I finally make my way through everyone to the place they were setting orders out. I spot my hot dog, probably one of the few remaining, in this huge sea of french fries, along with maybe a couple of other plates of burgers and stuff. Nobody's too happy about having to eat a plate of cold fries for their lunch, so everybody is trying to go for anything that's not french fries, regardless of whatever they actually ordered. Nobody is listening to the guy calling out tickets. People are pushing each other, body slamming each other. There's barely any room to move anywhere. I don't know if you've ever seen one of those Trump rallies where it's just out of control. This might have been worse. Alright, not the smoke part, just everything else. Plates of fries are being like frisbeed across the room. I see the hot dog that's rightfully mine snatch it up before it gets snatched by someone else. And at this point, nobody is getting the correct order. It's just a total free-for-all. Everybody's going crazy. People are yelling. The 3 workers don't even know what's happening anymore. I'm thinking they gotta be about ready to call in the SWAT team at this point. A bunch of kids are trying to take advantage of the chaos and rob them for some free soda. They're filling up their gallon water jugs with soda. But I mean, they do charge like $900 for a cheeseburger. Who's really robbing who here? But anyways, they start trying to shut the whole thing down, and at this point they've completely ran out of all food. Everybody's being forced to leave. There's still a ton of people that haven't even eaten yet. They get everybody ready to go home, and some kid managed to sneak out and buy some pizzas, and they were selling it for something crazy like $3 a slice. You already know they cashed out. That's the end of this story. I hope you guys enjoyed watching the video. If you're still watching and you're still not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. Thank you to everyone so far though who supported the channel. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next one.
Everyone deserves the fastest, most reliable internet speeds, regardless of where they live. With Spectrum Internet, you can power all of your devices to enjoy streaming, video chatting, and gaming. I rely on Spectrum Internet. You should too.
Switch now.
So look, one day when I'm in like 2nd grade or something, I'm on the playground probably playing some borderline deadly game when I notice out of the corner of my eye in the distance, there's a line of people near the library. When I say a line, I don't mean like the line you wait in before you order at McDonald's and lower your lifespan type of line. I'm talking like the line at a Disneyland ride type of line, and the regular one too, not no cute fast pass line. Like there were so many people over there. The only time I'd ever seen that many people near the library was during the book fair when everyone's trying to spend their last dollar on some fart putty. So I'm curious what's going on over there. I move over, ask some kid what the deal is. He goes, "Oh, we're in line to get a tattoo."
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
I'm like, tattoos? What is he talking about? So I move closer. Come to find out, these boys would take the buds off of this one tree by shaking it really hard, and the bud had some liquid in it that you could squeeze out while drawing some design and then cover the liquid with sand. The sand would stick to the wet part, and once it dried, the sand would stick to your skin, and they called it a tattoo. So this goes on every day for like a full week. Business is booming for them. Now everybody's walking around with their sand tattoos, and it kind of started to get to some people's heads, made them think they were a changed man, start acting all tough all of a sudden. "Hey, what you doing at my table? I just got inked up. You don't want this problem." What is that, like a squid, a deformed ladybug or something? Why are you disrespecting my ink like that? Now I can't lie, at first I was like, this trend is gonna fall off in 2 days. But every day at lunch, that line just kept getting longer and longer. Finally, I'm like, I gotta go see what all the hype's about. So I wait in this long line, finally get to the front. The guy's like, "Where's your payment?" I'm like, "Hold up, you gotta pay for this?" The dude's like, chill. You just need to bring me a certain amount of the tree buds that they used to draw the design back to him. Which, looking back at this payment system, they charge you in tree buds, but then use them on someone else who gave them more tree buds, which they used on another person. Like, what's the business model here? There's no profit involved anywhere. So anyways, I go back and rip some of the buds off the tree, bring it back to them. He's like, "Okay, what you want?" I don't know why, but I told him to draw a ninja. So he starts going crazy drawing this ninja. My man looked like he had unbreakable focus during this. He seemed like he knew what he was doing. But keep in mind, the span of things you can make with some tree juice, combined with the fact that a 2nd grader is the artist that didn't even know what a tattoo was until like a year ago, is gonna be trash, straight garbage. So the ninja that I asked for turned out something like,
Oh, what is that?
And then the sand just kind of smudged everything around, made it even uglier. But the biggest problem with these tattoos, see, a tattoo is supposed to be permanent. These ones would just start to fall off once they dried. 5 minutes after everyone got back to class, sand starts to like fly off everybody's arms. Of course, the teachers start to notice their classrooms turning into beaches. They find out what's going on, start trying to shut the whole thing down. They're threatening detentions and all this type of stuff to anyone caught with a tattoo or giving a tattoo. They're like inspecting us before we enter the classroom. So now this can't be done in the open anymore. It became an underground business. They can't be outside the library like before. They're changing locations every day, trying to stay low key. Oh, give me an entire sleeve. Are you working for the other side, trying to take me out? Everyone starts getting paranoid. No one was trying to catch heat with any of the teachers. These tattoo stands went from business is booming, and in a matter of like 3 days, boom, the teachers are driving all of them out of business. The whole class thought these tattoo stands were like the next greatest thing.
Psych!
But pretty soon, the teachers got their way, and to put it simply, they became a thing of the past. But that's the end of this video. I hope you guys like the animation. I'm gonna try and start getting these out more frequently. I know in the beginning it was like over a month between videos, but the last few have been like 2 weeks, like 2-3 weeks apart. So hopefully I'll see you guys again soon in the next one. We're getting closer to 1,000 subscribers too, so subscribe if you're not, and I'll see you in the next one.
Save during the Best Buy Memorial Day sale.
Oh. Hi, Zach. It's nice to see you. made you stop in? fucking trying to find like some good PNG image to like put it on the uniform. I don't know, man, what I'm doing. Imagine how cool it would be if there was like a brush that could help you draw military patterns and shit. I don't fucking know. It's like 2 a.m. I have no idea why I'm still up. Small ass uniform. Hmm. I wonder if this could work. I forgot what I used last time for this one. Actually, wait, I think I do. this one. Huh. So basically, I just steal some PNG of a uniform, and then I paste it over my art, whatever. It looks kind of awkward, but when it's done, I think it looks pretty good. looks very awkward right now, but I'm sure it will be worth it later. process is kind of awkward, but I don't really have any other way to do it, so. Anyways, it's like almost 3 a.m. I should sleep. Yeah. Bye. Thanks to